Today, we're diving into a technology that could totally reshape the classroom as we know it. Large language models, or, as you probably know them, LLMs. We're going to break down what they are, the incredible opportunities they present, and, just as important, the very real risks we need to figure out together.
So, this is the big question, right? Is this technology actually going to revolutionize how we learn and teach? Or is it something that could threaten the very idea of academic integrity? Well, let's get into it.
All right, here's our game plan. First up, we'll get a handle on what these language models really are. Then, we'll look at the super exciting stuff, their potential to be personal tutors, and, a teacher's new best friend. And finally, we're going to get real about the risks and talk about how we can build a safer future with this incredible tool.
Okay, so before we jump into what all this means for schools, we've got to pop the hood. What exactly is the engine driving this massive change? What are large language models? At their heart, LLMs are a type of generative AI. The simplest way to think about them is as these incredibly powerful pattern recognition machines. They've basically read a library the size of the internet, which lets them understand context and nuance, and then, based on a simple prompt from you, generate completely new, human-sounding text. So there are three things that really make these models tick. First, the absolutely massive scale of their training data. We're talking about huge chunks of the internet. Second, their complexity, which we measure in parameters. Think of these like the model's brain cells, and we're talking hundreds of billions of them. And third, the fact that they can be fine-tuned, which basically means they can be specialized for very specific jobs, like writing computer code or even drafting legal arguments. And what's truly wild is just how fast all of this has happened. The core technology that makes all of this possible, it was only published in a research paper back in 2017. And just 1 year later, the first real LLMs started to show up. We are literally in the first few minutes of this revolution. It's happening right now. And that key piece of the puzzle is something called the transformer architecture. You can just think of it as the fundamental building block. It's the breakthrough that allowed these models to understand context and the relationships between words over really long sentences, way better than anything that came before it. Honestly, it's what made everything we're about to talk about even possible.
So now that we kind of get the tech, let's explore one of the most exciting ideas out there. The possibility that every single student, no matter who they are or where they live, could have their very own personal AI tutor.
This whole idea taps into a really famous concept in education. See, back in 1984, a researcher named Benjamin Bloom discovered what he called the 2 sigma problem. He found that students who get one-on-one tutoring perform 2 standard deviations better than their classmates. To put that in perspective, that's like taking an average C student and turning them into an A student. For decades, the problem has been, how do you scale that? You can't give every kid a human tutor. Well, LLMs might just be the technology that finally cracks that nut.
For younger kids, this could be a total game changer. Just imagine an AI tutor that can patiently help a first grader sound out words for hours. It can give them instant, positive feedback on their writing and ask these clever little questions that start building critical thinking skills from day one.
And as students get older, the AI just adapts with them. Let's say you're a high schooler struggling with, calculus. The AI can explain a tough concept in 10 different ways until it finally clicks. It could generate an endless supply of practice problems for your chemistry final, and then spin up a custom quiz to see if you're really ready.
Then, when you get to the university level, the game changes. It's less about learning facts and more about building arguments. Here, an LLM can be your tireless research assistant, helping you dig through dense academic papers. But it can also be your sparring partner, challenging your ideas and helping you sharpen your arguments before that big essay even due.
But hey, this isn't just about the students. This technology could also be a teacher's new best friend, a seriously powerful assistant that helps cut down on all that administrative busy work and frees them up to do what they actually love to do: teach.
And this really breaks down into 4 huge areas. First, personalized learning, so a teacher can tailor content to every single student's pace. Then there's lesson planning that can generate fresh ideas and materials instantly. It could even act as a professional development coach, suggesting new ways to teach a topic. And finally, the big one, helping with the incredibly time-consuming work of creating and grading assignments. Okay, I know, so far this all sounds pretty amazing, almost utopian. But we have to look at the other side of the coin here. With all this power comes some pretty significant risk, and we need to face these challenges head-on.
Because the short answer is, no, it's not all good news. The same tech that can create a personalized quiz can obviously be used to cheat on it. The same system that can summarize research for you can also just make stuff up.
This table really gives us a great way to think about this. For every single risk, people are working on a potential solution. To fight plagiarism, you could watermark the AI's output. For hallucinations, that's when the AI just confidently invents facts. You can ground it with specific source material. To tackle bias in the model, it can be fine-tuned on more diverse and representative data. And to protect student privacy, well, strong enforceable usage policies are absolutely non-negotiable.
So look, acknowledging these risks isn't about hitting the brakes on progress. Not at all. It's about being smart. It's about building the guardrails and the frameworks we need to turn these challenges into solvable problems, so we can use this technology responsibly.
So let's just quickly recap the big takeaways. We know LLMs are built on that transformer architecture. We've seen their incredible potential as one-on-one tutors for students and as powerful assistants for teachers. But, and this is a big but, we also know they come with major risks that demand smart, proactive solutions. And that really leaves us with this final thought. AI isn't inherently good or bad. It's just a tool, and like any powerful tool, its real impact will be decided not by the technology itself, but by the choices we make. So the real question for all of us, students, teachers, parents, everyone, is how are we going to choose to use it?